Stephanie Zima here, My Way of Life Coaching, and today I want to talk about the 7 different stages online entrepreneurs are going through that may keep you stuck or not progressing in the way that you want to. And even if you're not stuck, but you are trying to get somewhere and you're trying to build a successful business and life, because that is what we all want to do, right? A whole rounded product, life and business. You need to go through all these 7 stages to actually attract your clients and to feel the vibe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And all of that has something to do with the stages that we're going through. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and follow for more. Okay, here we go. Stage number 1 is the apathy stage. Have you thought that when you have a thought, you're going to have a feeling, and from the feeling, you're going to take an action, and that action is giving you a result? Have you ever realized that? If not, I'm going to tell you about it. So when you are in the physical state of apathy, you may be thinking, what's the point? Nothing I do ever matters. Have you found yourself in that spot? Have you ever thought about your business? I'm posting all the time, but for some reason, nobody wants to buy what I have. Nobody ever reaches out. It's for nothing, anything. The feeling that you are feeling here with that is you are actually feeling indifference. You're feeling maybe hopeless, right? Because no matter what you do, it's not going to have the results anyway. You're feeling hopeless. And with that, you're feeling low energy. So for example, you may be always tired. You're not seeing the results right away. I had that for a long time, reaching out to people. I would reach out to 3 to 5 people every single day. Nothing, right? Nothing. Nobody ever responded. Nobody bought anything. So after you do that for a while, you're just kind of like, what's the point? Do I make a difference? What's the point? What happens if you keep pushing yourself past this point, you are actually going into burnout mode, and you are really maybe losing even your vision or your purpose, and you are likely to give up. Okay, that is the state of apathy or disengagement. State number 2 is fear, actual survival fear. Okay, your thought may be, what if I fail? So all your fear of failures, your fear of rejection, your fear of scarcity, of not having enough money, for example, fear, I just need to pay the bills, like this anxiety that you're feeling, okay, that insecurity that you're feeling, that overwhelm that you're feeling are signals to the state of fear survival mode. Now, pay attention how you're feeling. Your feelings are actually the roadmap to your state. So, and we want to dismiss those feelings all the time, but I want you today to understand that those feelings are guides. Use them, okay? Don't push them away. Work with the fears and the feelings. So anxiety, insecurity, and overwhelm is sign for your fear state. Okay, when you have that, possibly you have bought a gazillion different courses, and that's why you're apprehensive of getting into a mentorship program, because you're not going to finish it. That's a sign that you're in the fear state. Nothing I do matters. Okay, you jump between different strategies. Some days you may be reaching out. Some days you may be doing other things, but you're not having a rhyme or reason strategy that you're using all the time. You're jumping around. That you do that because you have insecurity. Okay, your cause then could possibly be financial stress, lack of clarity. You're just not really clear on what it is you're doing. And what happens is you draw this circle. Okay, you have a thought, then you're feeling, from the feeling you react, and from the reaction you're actually creating the result that you were afraid of in the beginning. You see, this is the tricky part. that many people are not recognizing. It doesn't matter if it's in your business, it doesn't matter if it's in your life, in your relationships, in your job, anywhere where you are, the cycle will repeat itself. You have a thought, you feel something, you act, and then you are going to create a result. In the stage 3, that's your frustration, that's your resistance. You maybe think something like, this will never work for me. I'm doing everything, but it's just not working for me. And in that thought process, when you have thoughts like that, you get impatient, you get irritated, you start having self doubt. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe someone else that's better at this than me. Have you found yourself thinking that sometimes? Remember, we can sometimes flow in between these different stages. One aspect of life, we may be in apathy. One aspect of life, we may be in fear. And one aspect of life, we may be in the resistant stage. When we are in the resistance stage, it's always it's caused by a misaligned strategy. Something is not working. Lack of feedback. We don't get enough feedback that helps us align or take different action. And we compare ourselves to others. The problem with you comparing yourself to others is that you actually compare yourself to, most of the time, people that are already farther ahead. You're looking at mentors, not mentors that are where you want to go or who are closely to where you are, but you're looking at mentors that possibly are already the millionaires, that are already like, and you're just starting, you know, you're just starting. And that is where you can compare yourself with their stage 10 and you are like on stage 2. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. You've got to find people that can help you through these different stages of your specific life. Okay, stage number 4 would be hope. Now we are getting super excited. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Okay, so we may have worked our way through apathy, fear, and frustration. Now we are going into hope. Hope is excitement. That is like cautiously optimism. Your thoughts could possibly be like, maybe this can work. Maybe I can make this happen. I've learned from my mistakes. This is possible. Okay, if you can find yourself thinking those thoughts, you're catching the glimpse of that vision, now you're feeling motivated. Often this happens like right after you've seen a training, or you've been at convention, for example, or you have had a mastermind. You're like, yes, I can see how this works and I'm so excited. Here is the situation. You are excited. Now you're starting taking small steps. You're starting to see some actions and you're getting some results. You're having some small wins and you're having some support. But if you don't foster that energy, that vibe, that state, if you don't consciously understand where you are at with your stages, what will happen is you will snuff that little light out. Okay, it's gonna happen. It's kind of like you have beautiful sad and you have sunshine and you have also rain and it's perfect and it's beautiful and you're excited. You can see those gladiolus or corn or whatever it is you want to plant, tulips maybe. You can see them and you can see this big field, growing. But if you don't put the seeds in, nothing is going to grow. Nothing is going to grow, you guys. That's what it is. You have to make sure you also put in the seeds. So when you are in that stage of hope, cautiously optimism, you need to make sure you keep this and build on it. Okay. Next stage would be number 5. That's your determination. So when you have the hope stage, now you're saying, I'm committed no matter what. Now, this is where a lot of people fall off. Okay. So you may have gotten super excited and then you fall off because you are not taking consistent, resilient, disciplined actions, because you're going to get nervous. You're going to think, oh, This is going to continue. This motivation is going to continue. I see this all the time. People are trying to stay motivated. How do I get motivated? How do I continue to get motivated? Well, you are not. You are not always staying in stage 4. You are going to have to move into stage 5, where you take consistent action. Okay. Consistent action has to be disciplined. That does not come through motivation. So you have to get into that stage. Now, when you're in that stage, stage number 5, that's when you are also going to move past into now flow. You've heard this momentum. People call it momentum. So when you're in momentum, everything goes. Everything goes. People are going to want to buy something from you. You feel great. You feel creative. You feel amazing. You're going to have consistent results. You are going to be in that flow state. You are feeling aligned emotionally and with your business in that stage. Now, when you are in that stage, you could think it's going to be forever like that. It's not, you guys. It's not going to be forever like that. Unless you foster it, you have to keep working on these stages over and over and over again to foster it. Okay. So when you then have that, after you foster it and you continue, you are now going to be in stage number 7. Stage number 7 is where you see the vision. That's when you go into a movement. That's when you know, hey, I'm building something meaningful. I will create impact in this world. I can do this and I get to do that. This is when you get super excited. This is when you can feel the energy. That's when you know this is meant for me. And that is where you reach then long-term stability. This is when you wake up in the morning and you don't stop. Like, I will never stop building the Walk It Free movement because I believe so much into it. I believe that people are supposed to be healing, connecting with themselves and others, and leveling up by the actions they are taking and the thoughts they are thinking. Okay. I believe that so much because walking it free is helping you taking the steps to a life that you do not regret. There's so many people that are regretting every single day and that are going to bed miserable. And the next thing you know, they're diagnosed with cancer and they are going to die. And they are looking back at their life and they are saying, I wish I could have. I wish I did. And they didn't. Okay. So it's not about how much money you're making right now. It's not about how perfect your life is and how big your house is. None of that matters. You can be happy and fulfilled and at peace emotionally with any step where you are right now. If you get in control of your thoughts, if you're going to get in control of your perspective, if you're going to take steps towards progress, because progress makes happy, you guys. Progress gives hope. And the whole purpose here is to move from apathy and fear, where so many people are stuck, into hope, into then taking actions to get into flow, to finally feel fulfilled and having your vision dream. So walking it free is actually getting somebody from stage 1 to stage 7 and taking a bunch of people with them. Okay. Because you know what? Your impact, you may not have a big company that you are raising or doing, but your impact is your everyday interactions with everyone around you. That is the impact you're having on your life. How do people going to remember you? When you die tomorrow, how are people going to remember you? Are they going to be proud of you or are they not? Are they going to remember you or are they going to say like, oh, well, I think that's my biggest nightmare, that no one will ever remember, because my fear was to not matter. I want to matter in the world, but I don't want to matter from an ego point of view. I want to matter because I have helped transform people. Okay. I want to matter because I have helped people be better and create better results for themselves in their lives. So what is it for you? What is it that you're here to create? What is it that you are wanting to do with your life? What life do you want to build that you won't regret? Drop it in the comments. I would love to know.